Hello there my friends, I am the editor and welcome back to Cut and Print. Here I look at episodes suggested by you, the audience, and review them accordingly. Today I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at something other than an episode for a change, as I don't want to limit myself to being an episode only analyst. I want to also branch myself out to look at other types of work, such as this. I'm taking a look today at something as lovely and as just adored by the fans. This is Lullaby for a Princess. As this isn't an episode, I will be changing a few things when it comes to reviewing and evaluating. So, let's start at the beginning, shall we? Back in May of 2013, there was a slight teaser video made that hardly anybody knew about. It consisted of several slides and sketches of drawings of scenery, while at the same time music was played in the background, which I find quite calming and relaxing. To complement the music was the sketch visuals used as a template for the future project. This is called an animatic, because let's face it, it takes a long time to animate stuff. I know. As the video went on, I was just stuck in place. I was unable to move or look away from what I was watching. Everything was in this animatic was just extremely impressive. It tells the story of Nightmare Moon's uprise and the decisions that Celestia had to send her away. Now, I know that in episodes 1 and 2 of season 4, the show actually does show what happens in the conflict of the two sisters, and where it was entertaining in its own way, this animatic was first released in May of 2013. Season 4 didn't start until November. I like to think that the show took inspiration from this and that it acknowledges the fans' responses and their representations on how they view a subject like this. I mean, there are scenes from the episode that are quite close to the scenes in this animatic. Watch episode 2 of season 4 again and you'll see things that are quite similar. And since then, the animatic has received over 1 million views. Wow, that's amazing. So I was very excited for the finished project. But like I said, animation takes a long time. So much time in fact, it took 2 years to animate this. 2 years! I'll admit, if you were patient for that long, I salute you for that, because I know I wasn't. I was one of those people who thought that it was just abandoned, the project was just stopped. But still, they did it. But the real question was this: was it worth the 2-year wait? To that I say, you're bucking right it was. It's only been released since May of 2015, with over 2 million views, and growing by the day. And my emperor, I was not expecting it to turn out like, just wow! To me, this is Miyazaki level of animation. The colours, the visuals, the way that it just flows as elegantly like a river, just, this is wonderful to watch! And on top of that, we have this same amazing audio track, not tampered with in any way, and put alongside the visuals, it gives us an extremely well entertaining experience that we will never forget. However, there is one thing about the animation in this that I will say. There are many different types of fan-made animations out there that try their best to make it look as show accurate as they can. And you can see that the time and effort put into this must have taken them days, weeks, or even months to make. I'm talking about the Jan Animations, the Mr. Cupcakes, and even Silverquill in his reviews all make show-accurate animations to represent their love of the show and the fandom. Lullaby for a Princess doesn't do that. It has its own animation pace to follow, and its very own art style to tell the story. And, in my case, I prefer it that way. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice to see accurate animations, but it's very, very rare that you see something that tries to be itself and not try to be something it's not. And, in all honesty, I think it's even better than the animations in the show can be. I mean that. I mean, I wouldn't like to see this in show-accurate animation because then it wouldn't be as unique as it is. I also like the way that in the animation it starts out nice and slow at the beginning as it's telling a story, and it takes place until the confrontation between the two sisters. Then it goes straight into Dragon Ball Z territory. Large explosions, fast movements, and overwhelming amounts of power, hate, fear, love, and sadness that can be portrayed as the battle wages on. Another thing to say about the animation is that it addresses something that not a lot of other animations have done yet. At the very beginning, before the conflict, Celestia is pink-maned, and Luna looks like Season 1 Luna. That is until the power change. Luna becomes Nightmare Moon, as we already know, but in this version, Celestia doesn't get her tricolours until after she uses the elements of harmony. Very clever idea there. Another thing is the style of music. Now, I'm not normally a fan of slow-paced, let's tell the story kind of approach to music, because I can't get into it fast enough and I lose interest. There is except for this one. Whether it's because it's MLP, I don't know, but I love it. The audio makes it a good point to tell us a story on what happening to Luna and how it drove her into the ways of the shadows. It also shows us a twist in the story, in the way that not that Celestia chose to banish Luna to the moon, but because there was no other option. The choice that it makes to animate is that it happens by accident that she was banished, and it actually makes me feel sorry for Celestia in a way. That in this version, it wasn't solely her fault that this happened. The best part I feel though is the very end. This scene is just so heartbreaking and tear-jerking that you'll need a box of tissues next to you if you can understand its message. If not, let me explain a little bit. The way the animation kind of portrays it is this. Because Luna was turned into Nightmare Moon, the result of her banishment for 1,000 years is that Luna has been rendered to a small infant. Now, this to Celestia shows that because of her actions, that she couldn't prevent it, Luna, in Celestia's eyes, is innocent and needs guidance, just like an infant would, showing that Luna is a poor victim to her sister's selfishness, and that she is being punished for it. And as years and years go by, Luna grows, sleeping soundly in her bed. And as Celestia lowers the moon, it symbolises the elder sister is putting her younger sister to sleep once more, sending her to sleep with a song, making this a lullaby for a princess. Okay, I think I've rambled on about this long enough. Let's break this down. Where this is an animation for a song, it does actually have a story to tell. And it's the story many of us have been waiting for to be told. How did it happen? Why were these decisions made? How did Celestia feel at the end? All of these questions and more are answered in this. It's its own unique outlook on the show, and actually makes you feel sorry for those who had to make the decisions they did. It would be a crime to award this with a low grade, so story gets gold. Now for animation. What isn't there to say about the animation in this? You could write a book, a lot of books, on how well this is presented. How the animation matches the song at the right moments, and how it's called back to the very beginning of the show. Every emotion you can think of is in this. You can tell what they're feeling just by looking at the way that they react. And there's even no speaking roles in this. You can just relate to them that well. Animation deserves nothing more than a gold. Finally, the song and the lyrics itself. Like I said, it stays calm and relaxing on its pace and tempo throughout the entire melody, even though some of the animation is calling for more action and faster paced music. It doesn't do that. It puts together with the animation that the fact that the lyrics are basically a book at bedtime, and it's made into a musical. It's just beautifully combined, and I say well done to this people for making it. So song gets gold. It took them 2 years to make this, and it was worth every single bit. Well, thank you all for watching, my friends. Join me next time where we'll be looking at another suggestion. If there's an episode, a subject matter, or even a fan-made animation you want me to review, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see what I can do. I'm the editor, and cut, that's a wrap.